So in regards, so we were just having just an informal chat in regards evaluation. So you received your feedback for the midterm, which was composed of two: the grade, the variant grade given to you by Educandus. So Educandus just gives you the raw grade, a grade that is without any feedback, to which I added another rubric that I uploaded by the as a summative rubric, giving you feedback in regards writing. And in that rubric, I really was able to notice your evolution in the language, how you're writing and working with elements from the language in a better way. So I commend you for that. And that was that second grade gave me the opportunity to give you extra credits to the quiz, and also value what you have been doing with English in itself. As I said, we have a lot of material to cover. Remember, we are in the last weeks of the semester. The semester has flown really quickly. Remember that you always have to check information, agreements on Educandus, the modules, evaluations, we always repeat it in class. So remember, portfolios, you need to complete the tasks every week, plus the forums. Yes, I didn't have so much time for the forums, but I keep on revising forums, your participation, your writing in the forums. That is an important grade also by the end of the semester. So if you don't do it, it's just you don't do it, but you lose points. And the work in the tasks is weekly. And now, from now to the end, we are going to be revising activities from the tasks every week. So I really need your commitment to do your tasks every week, so that every Monday we go a step forward and get ahead in the module with the remaining contents. There is a lot to do, though I have been doing readjustments. Of course, they are always necessary, but I beg you to connect with the task and be able to work weekly, yes, with the tasks that are left, that are not many. We did the majority, we did already in the first part of the semester. So Krishna has come. Hello, Krishna. So as usual, we revise the evaluations, and I will always repeat this. Every class at the beginning, we revise the evaluations of the module. I cannot stress enough that Bitácora's tasks are progressive. I need you to work in your reflections, in your activities that you're creating every week. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to work in class. So this is important for every week. The forum participation will be an average grade, that's a promedio, and you don't have so many forums. So please be careful not to be behind. In 3 more weeks, I will have to revise the forums. And it's not a long time. Yes, so you have to go back to the beginning and catch up with the forum. Yes. If we check here, we only have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this week, I need to start checking forums, for example. Yes. So we don't have so much time. There is a false vision that we have a lot of time ahead and we don't. So please bear in mind, we have very little and very few weeks. June will fly away. Okay, so it's nothing. In time is nothing. And today I will introduce, well, the midterm is over. You have all your feedback, your grades. And the activity plan, which is an important element for your evaluation. You will have time, weeks to do it. It will be in pairs. So that is something I need you to tell me how you're going to work. And the micro teaching. Very, very similar to what we did last semester in literature. We did something very similar. We planned an activity with literature and we did the micro teaching. So it's nothing that is so different from that. Anyway, you have to prepare. So these are the two last elements that will be assessed by the end of the semester. Well, in general, the revision, you know, the tasks, we have 6 tasks until the midterm revision. Everything needs to be in the Vitacora, everything, and the ones that we will have from now till the end. Remember, we only have 7 last weeks. We even have a holiday in the middle. So it's really very little time, very little time. And remember, red arrows here indicate that we have something due. Yes, so something is due. That means an activity has to be finished for grading. So we have every week something to finish. And this demands a lot of work. But if I have already done my Vitacora, then I have less work. If I plan, if I do my activity along the weeks, I will have less work. If I do my participation, I will have less work. So everything is possible to be done in progress. So from the 21st onwards, we have deadlines every week. Otherwise, we're not going to finish. And therefore, I am scared that you are thinking we have a lot of time, and that is not true. So the tasks are 6 up to now. Everything needs to be in the Vitacora. You have a complete list here. The forums, you have the examples posted on week 6. So everything you have to do is go there, check the examples and do your posts. Not so difficult. Plus the activity plan and the micro teaching. So this is group work and you are going to plan an activity, yes, following a planning guide. Remember last week we had this word chart in which we were completing different items to have a guide. Yes, it's not so much as a planning. You're beginning to see a little bit of planning. Next semester we are going to continue with planning. But at this moment is something more restricted, more guided. So you have time along the weeks to create your plan, yes, your activity plan, following this guide. We will check it in class. We will try to get ahead in class and check. I will be receiving your drafts to give you feedback. Then you are already creating activities for the different tasks. So this is already in the making. So it shouldn't be something completely new or beginning from zero. So one of these activities that you create, you can develop into this detailed planning and then do the micro teaching. I think it's you have already done this, so it's not new, absolutely new. So we are already in the known area. Okay, then micro teaching. What happens with micro teaching? So you select the section. So it's a section of the whole activity, yes? The activity can be longer, but you select a section and you record a video. You did this last year also with the story. Do you remember about that? Girls? Do you remember about the activity from last year?
The carrot seed and blowing in the wind.
Yes,
in my case,
yes, exactly. That was an activity you did with the reading, yes, and you did your micro teaching based on that. Okay. Do you have any questions in regards this explanation, these last activities? So we keep going. Do we have any other questions? So those are the last two, and the last two items in reference to evaluation: activity plan and micro teaching. And that will be the end of the semester. Okay, then about the midterm quiz. So how was this experience like? Was it the first time to do a test online? Was it your first time? What can you answer?
nope, it wasn't.
No, no, it wasn't the first time. And what was it like?
Complicated because we have to write the answer twice. I mean, in my case, I write on Word and then I have to rewrite on Educan.
Yes, okay. But do you feel it is better to rewrite? Do you have more options to have it right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You
So
can see
writing.
that.
Yeah.
And have more ideas.
Yes, exactly. So writing is based a lot on rewriting. Yes, and revising ideas and doing something new, probably, or writing something new. Okay. So, Javiera, what do you think? Is it like to do a midterm on Educandos? Like this one?
I think the same as Vanessa, having to write twice is a bit not annoying, but sometimes it's a bit of a bother. But besides from that, it was okay for me.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good that you're forced to write twice because you can see in your results, in your feedback from the writing, thanks to the writing rubric, the writing task rubric, you can see that you improve a lot. Each time you read and write again, you're given one element that is for improvement, that is better than the previous one. So it is worthwhile. It's worthwhile doing. And how do you think is the process of being evaluated online during this contingency? What do you think is this process like? Is it fair, unfair? Could you do better in a face-to-face situation? Lucia?
I think that is better face to face session because in my case I believe that this process online is more complicated and more difficult for me.
Difficult, yes, exactly. There are people who find it difficult to concentrate, find it difficult to have the available time to do evaluations online, just because it's something new and we have to get accustomed to it. Yes, to sitting down and giving us the the time, yes, organizing the time and the place to sit down and do the quiz. And I could see some of you waited until the very end to do the quiz. And that is something that sometimes you should plan with more time. Just because of this, because you have to write once and then write again, yes? But that is only for your benefit. If you write twice or 3 times, it's for your benefit, but you need time. And working online requires time, requires a lot of reading as well, and reflection. That is true. So it's another way of being evaluated. This could be probably staying in the future if you think United States, for example, was already using online quizzes also with even in times of face-to-face normal classes. The United States was already practicing to have students 1 week off campus doing online activities. And therefore this has been proved already that 1 week off campus of face-to-face classes also produced, gave the students this option to organize themselves and work autonomously in completing evaluations or online activities. So this has been already proved. Yes, this can be done and this can stay also for higher education in the future. So think that we might eventually come back to face-to-face classes, but there will be activities and tests to be done online. Now, how is your learning experience during this contingency? What do you think is your learning experience like? Just in general. Vanessa?
I'm sorry, can you repeat, please?
How is your learning experience during the COVID contingency? How can you describe it?
I don't know if my learning is complete. I still thinking that I have missing a part of it. I don't know why, but I think
you're still missing
that
some section. That part. Yes, there is a part that is missing. It's true.
that I can learn completely. I something's missing.
Okay. Remember, the change has been very abrupt. Yes, so probably you're missing that that there is no progression. There was no progression from face-to-face classes to online classes altogether. As I was explaining to you, undergrad students were doing in the United States years ago. So going 1 week online, 1 week face-to-face was already a practice for them to see how could they organize themselves and how they could organize themselves and do the autonomous work necessary. And so this is possible to be done in different ways. Only because of the contingency, we didn't have the time to practice, yes, to do it little by little. And yes, you can share your midterm quiz. Only I have some examples for you. And then if you want to share some examples, you will be allowed to. Okay. Yes. Would you like to share? Yes, here. And I am very much interested in this second question. How was your experience thinking about and writing the activity examples? Remember that every open-ended question required you to write about an activity that you will do with your students. So going back to that moment, how was this thinking? You had to write once, then the second time, rewrite things. So think, what did you think first, second, and third? Would you like to think about that?
First, I think an idea about what I want to write. Second, I try to write. And third, I revise and post it.
Yes, so first I think an idea what, yes. Second, see here we have first, second. Second,
I try to write it.
you think of an idea, then you try to write, yes, to the best of your ability. And finally?
Third, I revise it and post it.
I revised the answer, yes.
On
So
my
remember, yes, exactly. But remember you were writing about activity examples. What was the first idea that you thought about in the activity? First, is an activity, yes? What do you write? What do you think about first? We don't have so much space. Activity, yes. First, what do you think first? You need to describe an activity for students. What are you doing first? What is the first step to mention in this activity description? Javiera, any idea? What do you think first? What do you do? What do you need to do first in order to introduce an activity?
Can we create a picture of activity?
Yes, exactly. Show a picture of what? Oh, what do you have in the pictures? Whenever you see this in the videos or in face-to-face classes also?
I remember that in a video show a picture of a different place of the city.
Yes,
and the children say sentence with their is or their are.
Yes, exactly. They say with vocabulary, yes. So pictures of different places, vocabulary. And this is something fundamental. I have written to many of you, yes, short sentences of feedback, that this is always crucial whenever you're thinking of an activity. First of all, you introduce vocabulary. Yes, and probably short sentences, as in the case of that video, yes. And short sentences or sentence frames, and short sentences or sentence frames, remember just parts of the sentence, of sentences, sentence frames, and short sentences or sentence frames with basic structures, yes, so that students know what you're going to proceed, how you're going to proceed in this activity. Yes, exactly. This is exactly what you were meant to write, always. Second, then we will see an example. We will read an example. Second, what do you do with this vocabulary, with then what do you do with this vocabulary and language examples in the second part of the activity?
Can be that children create a basic oration using their is or their are.
Yes, exactly. So they practice, yes. Second, so students, always we are talking that our subjects are students. Yes? The objects, yes, to whom we are showing. Show students pictures, the second students practice. in different ways with this vocabulary, words, with these sentence frames or structures. Yes, so students practice the language in general, yes? Yes, exactly. They can, associate says they can, yes, arrange orally or in written a description. Yes, exactly. Yes, an oral or written description. And finally, what would you do by the end? Remember, you're thinking of the activity you have to do by the end of June. Yes, so this is ad hoc for that.
Can we a student share the answer with a partner?
Yes, exactly. Third, we didn't write the third. Third, students share, students show, publish. Yes, they can do many things with those, with that vocabulary and structures. And remember, you're doing the same in every task you do. You do a pre-reading, pre-watching. Yes, you activate vocabulary, previous knowledge about the topic. Then you practice, you read, you listen to something, answer questions, investigate, research some information, and then you do something practical. You put that into the organization of an activity that we were talking some minutes ago. Third, students share the product, or share or publish in some ways. You can publish in different ways the product they created. Yes, not the product, the activity, or if it was a description, or if it was something else. Yes. Okay. So all of these steps are basic in everything we do from now on in this module, the next semester, and also when you do practicum. Yes, you have to think in this way, organize your thoughts. Yes, think of these ideas that Vanessa was talking about, and put them into writing, but following a clear pathway, ¿sí? Siguiendo un camino que es el desarrollo de algún tema, de algún vocabulario, de alguna estructura. Okay, so that is the pathway, yes, in developing vocabularies, sentence structures, or some kind of discourse that we want to teach our students. For example, the description. If we are teaching them to do a description, then you follow little by little all of the steps to get to that final result. Okay, this is how an activity is generally organized. Do you agree? In as a summary, how is an activity generally organized? In which steps? Okay, change the color. So how is the activity? How can we summarize? In brief.
Beginning, middle, and ending?
Yeah, yes. Beginning, we said vocabulary or structure, presentation. Yes. Presentation. Presentation. Previous knowledge activation. This is very important, activation. Yes. Middle, Vanessa. Middle, what do we do in the middle? We have it here.
Develop the content.
Development, practice. Yes, excellent. Develop of content, general practice, yes. Practice, yes, excellent. Ending. You
Revise the learning.
Yes,
And
revision. Round up. Yes, el redondeo. Yes, okay, revision, round up. Presentation of something. Yes. Of something. Yes, excellent. Excellent. So this is an excellent segue of what you have been already seeing in the videos. We have been discussing little by little. You already had to think about, and now we are putting into words. Okay, so now you are more mature than you were at the beginning of the module to see these stages. And now here we have an example, for example, about CLIL. How would it be described? Yes, how could an activity following CLIL be described? Yes, and it is called the value of water, this activity. It is related to natural science and English, of course, so it's natural science in English. And the objective of the class is to explain the importance of water in everyday life, to propose measures to promote saving water and a responsible use. Okay, so content introduction. For example, a cartoon video demonstrates which devices and activities need to use water at home every day. Students revise vocabulary by matching the names of devices and activities with images. Each student communicates his or her image, name of device or action to find a matching partner. Okay, so this is vocabulary activation, and it can be by means of a video. It can be also by means of pictures. We saw here, yes, pictures. So different ways of activating, presenting and activating this knowledge, previous knowledge, and presenting new vocabulary. Then activities to work language and the content. Remember that in CLIL, we have content and language. So it's natural science content and English language. Yeah. Something like you do in world events with Professor Alejandra. You see content and you see the language. Yes, you see something related to history, the content, and English language to work with that content. So students classify the new vocabulary referred to the importance of water and how it is used and or wasted. Remember that we can use water. We use a lot of water, but we also waste water. ¿Sí? Desperdiciamos el agua. Waste es desperdiciar. So they investigate and classify devices and activities that consume high or low levels of water and write them down in notebooks. This is a way to practice, to develop the knowledge, as we said here. Yes, develop the knowledge, the content during the class. Then consolidation. Yes, this is the ending. Students play true or false with short sentences organized by the teacher in which she relates actions organized to saving or wasting water. And finally, evaluation, that is also part, we haven't gone up to evaluation yet, since this is something you will start also studying in Spanish next year. The students in group make a poster to be pasted on the wall with water saving measures. So evaluation, well, that can be also a display, yes, this ending, this revision, roundup, presentation of display, yes. Una muestra, yes, display of something we have produced. It can be a poster. And in this way, you can see how a class that is a class in natural science can be done with vocabulary in English and with structures in English. Okay, this is one of the examples, a possible example. Of course, is for you to have an idea on how to develop, for example, one of the answers in the quiz. Okay, another one, another answer. So this was related to the 12 steps or strategies that can be implemented to create. Remember the 12 steps? You wrote an answer also related to the 12 steps. To create an environment in English, I would use word anchors to help an English class. While in class, I will be able to write keywords and my students will be able to include new words in their vocabulary. As an example, in a class, we are going to talk about different means of transport in the city. At the beginning, we can brainstorm about what means of transport students know and organize them into categories on the board by rail or road or water. Once all of the means of transport have been mentioned and written on paper slips, the class will stick them according to the categories mentioned on anchor charts on the classroom walls, so the students can learn and associate vocabulary in a better way. So most of you wrote, this is an example from last year, rewritten by me, but most of you wrote and you got your points in this, your 4 points in this answer, in which you talk about using some of the strategies or steps from this website. So I commend you because all of you did this right. This is a rewriting from last year. I think you understand what it is to create this environment in English language so that students are surrounded by this language that they are learning and to which they probably don't have any other exposure. So you need to provide this at school. Okay. I talked to you about this, I think in the last meeting for the Winter Games. The idea of the creators of the program, those people that thought about the program for the first time, was that students would be in schools doing different kinds of activities from very early in the career. And one of the activities they had organized to do was to tell stories in schools. And we have a photo of that event taken in 2018. These are 2 students that are now in 4th year, that in that year, they were in 1st year telling stories to kids in schools. So you know that this was an activity that was being carried out in face-to-face classes before 2019. But of course, 2020, 2020, 2021 were special years. And therefore, we need to do online activities also to keep in touch with the children of our community. So this is an invitation for all of us. We are going to need you. We are going to need you working in pairs with groups of children. That's why we will be practicing the activities that you create for the different tasks. For example, Vanessa and Catalina already have this activity about colors. Also, Javiera has another activity. It doesn't matter, really, the topics can be varied, yes. But always remember, we will be focusing especially in those kids that are beginners, that only can repeat some vocabulary and respond with actions, as we have seen, because they are in the mainly in the silent period. Okay, so we will see, we will watch. Do you want to watch our, it's a very short, a very short video to promote the event. I am sending this to schools today, mainly to start with the promotion. We will also have a poster being done this week to send to schools next week. And in that way, we will be doing the promotion of the activity. Okay. Now, okay. So I want you to share with me the promotion. Only I need you to listen. Well, just listen to be little to be listened to, but we will listen. And I would like, we will continue talking about this in the future classes. Yes. All right, so this is the short video. Okay, so that's our very short video, a promotion up to now. We will have a poster. We also have the basis, very guidelines to be followed by parents, and the link for enrollment. Yes, Lucia.
Which is the different school that have collaboration with the youth?
With those are the schools in which our students from the career, from the elementary program, are doing their practical. So those are schools in Linares, some schools in Linares, some schools in Longaví, and a school in San Javier. So we are promoting this from the career, also from the Instagram and the social networks that we are working with. We will be promoting also the college, and therefore also with our mentor teachers, the teachers that are working with our students. We'll also be cooperating, since we have to reach the families, the students first, and then through students or through mentor teachers to the parents, because it depends on them to enroll the students in the activities. Hopefully we will be successful. We will be working this month hard in doing this and this organization, and therefore you're all welcome to participate and collaborate. Remember, you are also in the position of liking these events in the Instagram, for example. Okay. We keep on going.
¿Los grupos de cuánto tienen que ser para la próxima actividad?
In pairs, I think the best way to work is in pairs. If not, it can be three people, no more than three. So I will write an email, as I did with the, as I wrote this long email with a list when we were dividing the methods, do you remember? So that you check with whom would you like to work, yes, and contact the people. So, so this will be the proposal that I was talking about. Students, pairs will show their tasks, activities prepared each week in the following class, and we will discuss as whole class about these activities and techniques for the classroom, supported by their understanding of the needs and characteristics of beginners. Remember that the activities you will be preparing are dedicated to beginner learners, and therefore those are your conditions, let us say. Yes. So we will be testing these activities as possible activities to be carried out with children during the winter games. So we are still starting the promotion, so we hope to have people participating, and from there we will continue developing the activities. Okay, so that is the end of this section about the Winter Games, about this extra activity, which is an excellent opportunity for us to be in contact, sharing an activity with children. They are really very motivated. They are really motivated. I see them on Thursdays and Wednesdays when we have practicum classes online, how participative they are. They really want to participate. They are not scared of making mistakes, and they're really enthusiastic. So you will really like the activity. So it will be a great opportunity for you to be in touch with children and practicing your skills as future teachers. Remember that next year you will be also working with them in practicum. Okay, the new unit. So we have finished the old unit, and now we are already immersed in developing productive and receptive skills in initial lesson plans and activity plans that I have been talking to you about. Therefore, now our tasks will be dedicated to revising a little bit of theory, a lot of practice. And this is exactly what you are meant to be doing from now on, let us say. And we will be developing this along the rest of the weeks that we have left. So we will organize experiences, learning experiences in English according to methodologies and teaching strategies to develop receptive and productive skills in different learning stages. And you know that we are working with initial lesson plans, so you're beginning to plan, but also learning stages that are generally at the beginning of this process of learning. Remember that receptive skills are the ones by which the learner receives the language input. That means listening and reading. And productive skills means they produce language. Yes, that would be writing and speaking. So we will be going little by little. Yes. Okay, so as to prepare the task. So this is the first task. Then we will do a little bit of watching. We will watch a part of the video, the minutes that we have to watch in a video together to answer the questions. And remember, this task will be on Educandos. So pay attention because this will be the results. This will be the materials necessary for you to answer your questions in the task. Okay, so we need, so we keep going. And we will, these are the questions, the previous questions about from this task. Okay, make input in English comprehensible to beginners. So what do you think it means to say input? What is the input? Making input. So everything I receive. It can also be information that I receive, yes?
Input in Spanish.
Input también se usa en español. Input significa lo que yo recibo, información que yo recibo. It can be information, it is input, everything, language, I receive content, everything that I hear and read about, listen to or read about in a language. Yes, in this case it's in English. And make it comprehensible. What is that word in Spanish? It's very easy. It's very similar to Spanish. Comprehensible means that you can. What does it mean, comprehensible? video. So comprehensible input is a basic concept to do this task, number 7. And that is what we need to discuss now. And how do we make input comprehensible? How do we make everything we teach, all the content and information that we teach to our students, comprehensible? So that they can do, so that our students can learn or do activities and produce something by the end of a class. So the questions are, how do we talk to small children? So think of this question. English native speaking, for example, English native speaking teachers all over the world teach in English only. So for example, my professor from the United States went to Indonesia and he had to speak, he only knew how to speak English. So he taught and used the language he knew, English, to communicate with his beginner students. So what techniques did he use, do you think, to explain something to a person? Yes, to these children in Indonesia, for example. Or for example, if it was your case, how would you explain something to someone who doesn't know any Spanish? So think here of possibilities, yes? Which of the videos you watched, remember previous to the quiz, we watched several videos and with teachers demonstrating different techniques to teach children, little children, yes? Remember Professor Mark Kulek, he lives in Japan, and he has children, his wife is Japanese. Probably he knows some Japanese, but he doesn't speak Japanese to the children. So you see that he speaks only English. And the children are really little children.
Teacher?
Yes, Lucia?
Can be a technique that, for example, for children, for little children, explain the vocabulary, the word more difficult for the children.
You explain the word to how do you talk to little children in Spanish? You explain vocabulary to children?
Por ejemplo, explicarle las palabras más difíciles para ellos, ya sea en inglés, si una palabra es como muy complicada, darle un sinónimo para que entiendan de una mejor manera.
Okay. So how do we talk to small children? We adapt language. Yes, we adapt language. Yes, with synonyms, exactly. So it is easier for them. So it is easier for them to understand. Yes, exactly. So we don't explain difficult vocabulary. We just try to adapt our language to their level. Yes, and the same we do with little children. With little children here when we teach English. Yes, so we try to adapt the language, the content. And so we adapt language and we try to explain to little children with very simple language, with very simple vocabulary. The same you would do to a person who doesn't know any Spanish. Yes, you will not speak with complex structures or using difficult words. Yes, you can have examples in case you meet foreigners, for example. Also, some of you have been telling me the stories with Professor Francis, for example. So he asks you to explain to him in English because he doesn't understand something that is going on in Spanish. So you need to explain to him in English. Okay, Then, for example, the professors, the teachers that you saw in the videos, Professor Mark, for example. Which techniques does he use? Do you remember, Professor Mark? With the vocabulary, teaching vocabulary, the parts of the house, and elements in the house. Do you remember that video?
Como una técnica para
with little
los
children. What does
estudiantes
he use?
principiantes.
Yes. Which activity does he do with little children to help them with vocabulary?
I think that teaching more vocabulary, more words.
He teaches vocabulary by doing what? He has an activity with cards, with flashcards. So he chooses, he teaches with flashcards and numbers, and children match cards, vocabulary in cards, yes, the pictures and numbers.
Okay.
For example, yes. So in that way, he makes the input comprehensible to little children. Yes? So he teaches vocabulary and numbers or vocabulary related to parts of the house.
I watching a video, the teacher say, show different pictures. For example, se me fue la palabra, an airplane, and it's for little children, and show picture, and the children repeat the word that show the picture, the teacher.
Yes, they can repeat the words that they can see, and in this case, they repeat the words, and then they can relate those words, those vocabulary words to parts of the house, for example. So everything is on the basis of vocabulary. He's not teaching very difficult, for example, very, very difficult vocabulary or structures. He's just teaching basic words, basic vocabulary from parts of the house and elements in the house. And with that, he makes children can make relations and expand vocabulary. Then another thing you will need to think is how would you explain a word to a student quickly? For example, when you are in the classroom, or you can also do it online. How do you explain to the students something that you don't want to use the language? Yes, the mother tongue. You don't want to translate. So there are ways in which you can explain words, but you don't necessarily have to speak also, yes?
Can be a mimic.
Mimics, excellent. And you have lots of videos on the internet in which students, yes, the teacher says an action and they respond by mimicking, yes? And also there are games that do not require the use of words. So think of those. So mimic is one, yes, one example, but I would like other examples. Mimicry. Mimicry is hacer.
How say in English el lenguaje corporal?
Body language. Yes, body language. Body language. Yes, some expressions of anger, for example, with body language. A surprise, happiness, anger. Yes, that can be with expressions from your face. Yes, or your body. Yes, your complete body. Yes, exactly. So you have some ideas here, but you can continue developing more in the task. And now I would like to watch a video, but I would like everyone to be connected to watch the video. So now we will check with Professor Mark how he makes, how does he make input comprehensible?
This is Mark. Thanks for watching. Make a snowman. Yeah. Oh, I can make the body. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I can put on the buttons. 1, 2, 3. Great. I can put on the eyes. 1, 2. Good. I can put on the nose. 1. Yeah, put on the nose. I can put on the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. I can put on the arms. 1, 2. 2 arms. 1, 2. Good. I can put on the scarf. I can put on the hat. Yeah, I can put on the hat. Good, good, good. I can make a snowman. Great. Yeah. Good. Good job. Okay, great. Okay.
Okay. Could you see? Could you watch the video with the snowman?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Sorry. Okay. All right. So what do you think? What we were discussing?
And
How does he make input comprehensible? So in this case, it's a little bit different from what he does in the previous video. So relating parts of the house, elements from the house. Sorry.
in this case, in the video, the teacher show a
snowman, yes. So he shows
show the different part of the body than a snowman with a picture. For example, he say this nose, he show the snowman
nose, yes. But he shows only pictures or what else? What else does he show?
Different picture of the part of the body.
Yes, he shows different pictures with the parts of the body, but what else does he show?
Él muestra como una parte específica y después señala al muñeco.
But he has something else. So he has pictures and words, sentences, but he also has the actual snowman. He has realia. Eso se llama elementos de la realidad. So in order to make comprehensible story, comprehensible for children, so he has the snowman, yes. O sea, no tiene un póster de snowman, tiene un hombre de hielo, de nieve, un muñeco de nieve verdadero, o bueno, parecido, o sea, tiene un elemento de la realidad. Yes, so he shows a snowman with realia, so it's a real or adapted snowman, yes, made with things from reality, yes, so with a scarf, which is real, then he has a hat, which is a real hat. So he has both things. On the one hand, pictures. Yes, he has sentences also to show the stories written. Yeah. But he has real elements. So he has a real snowman. He shows sentences, story sentences. In written. So in this way, with this example, you can see that there are different ways in which I can make input comprehensible. So not only through language, not only by showing elements of language, sentences, words, or pictures, but also with elements from reality. For example, those are examples. Okay, then we will see some different other ways. Yes, we already said that, for example, here we can use elements from language. Yes, synonyms, adaptive language. For example, by making relationships yes, to among vocabulary, with mimicry, with body language. And here we have 2 more tips. We can show realia, so a hat, and bring a real hat, like in the case of the snowman. Pictures, and of course, language, yes, sentences, words, which are very common, very common in English classes. So we will discuss the other video and other readings when we have the group's next class. And this will be post-reading and post-watching activity in task 7. So you will prepare a language activity, which will be short, yes, for beginner students. The topic can be chosen from any of the subjects that are that you know from from primary school, from elementary school level. Yes, and you have to give clear instructions using a variety of techniques to make the content comprehensible. So you have to explain in English and explain everything that the students need to do, the activity. Then you present the topic to be developed, also making, yes, content comprehensible. And you show clear strategies to check understanding, yes, using the target language, which in this case is English. For you to know, target language is the language we are teaching. And you will share this activity with the class. Okay, so that's another, that is another task for the bitácora. Okay, so the central activities for this task we can finish next week, but remember you will also be asked to show previous activities that you have already finished for the tasks. Yeah, so Vanessa, Catalina, Lucia, the previous task 5, had some activities that you needed to develop. Yeah, so I'm going to write to everyone today, so everyone is prepared to present these short activities next class. Okay, do we agree? Yes, Lucia.
¿Puedo hablar en español? O sea, ya estoy hablando en español. La
Right.
semana pasada no me pude conectar, pero fue netamente porque sé que no es excusa, pero mi abuela, por ejemplo, estaba de cumpleaños, cumplía 78 años y yo fui para Linares. Entonces no tenía forma de conectarme allá.
Okay, doesn't matter. It's okay, Lucia. But check task 5. It is in Educandos, and the last section is related to an activity, if I am not remember wrongly. So you will develop that activity and show it in class. ¿Sí? Estamos todos claros que vamos a desarrollar esas actividades para mostrarlas en clase. Let me to show you week 8. On week 8, you have this task 5, yes, and you are developing activities and techniques for the classroom according to the needs and characteristics of English learners. And here in this forum, for example, you have to upload the activities. So here I have the activities of Catalina, the activities by Phoebe, the activity by Krishna. Okay? And so I have to have everyone needs to upload the activities here in this forum. But you will also show in class, show the activities in class. Okay, so we finish the presentation for today. We just reflect on what we have learned. Okay, and we have some clarification for next class, and you will be free for today. Okay, so what did we revise today? So we revised the
different techniques for what is more input comprehensive.
Making, yes, exactly, for making input comprehensible. Yes, comprehensible. Yes, exactly. Different techniques, exactly. Then we'll revise some answers for the midterm, yes, for the midterm. And we thought about activities. Remember, this is very important since you're going to be planning an activity, yes, to carry out by the end of the semester in the micro teaching. Activities and their parts, sections. Yes, we can divide activities in sections. Okay. Yes, as reminders. Yes, agreements. Check materials to accomplish the last tasks. Those that do not have the last tasks, and please finish them, the last tasks. So task 5, week 8. Task 6, week 9. And task document 7, week 12. Okay, so task 5, red, task 6. Those are the last ones, just for you to remember. And task document 7, which is new, will be uploaded to this week. Then you can follow the materials, download the PPT, because there you have every information you need. You have information about the evaluations, you have dates, explanations, answers to questions. You have everything in the PPT. Then you have to participate in the forum. I keep on checking, grading, sending you messages to participate in the forums. That's your responsibility. You have the examples. So it's only about you to sit down, write down those comments and upload them. Then keep your Bitácoras updated. Yes, upload it for revision in case you have it. If in case you haven't done it, please upload it for revision. They have a special tile at the beginning. You will see Bitácora. And be ready to share your activities. Yes, activities next class, especially from task 5, which you already have, might have done already. So task 7, you will still develop in the future. Okay, so do you have any questions? If you have any questions, you can contact me. We can meet even extra hours, office hours in the afternoon, for example, in case you need help. So any questions that you would have to ask me?
In my case, no.
Okay, Vanessa, if you want to write, is it okay? All right. So here we have questions and answers, if you have any questions, and I thank you for attending. Revise the video again, revise the material. I will write an email. I will write an email to you reminding you need to be divided in pairs. You need to be working on the activities, preparing activities from task 5 in pairs for next week. And that we will be in charge of the winter games, as you have seen the invitation. It's very colorful. Hopefully it will get positively to children and we have their participation. Okay, it's important for our program. So keep crossing fingers. So thank you, girls. Thank you for coming. And I hope to see you next week. Just contact me in case you have any questions.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, teacher.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye-bye.